Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for some more of the LA Sevens. This one, Kenya versus Samoa. This is a matchup that used to be a very familiar one on the Seven circuit. Samoa getting demoted last year. Kenya managing to get up through the promotion. And now they play each other again in the qualifying matches per se, although the Sevens world has been switched on its head more recently with a change in divisions and whatnot, but hopefully this is going to be a very entertaining game. One moment, we will quickly go like this, and we will go like, hopefully, if I go like this, one moment, whereabouts are the banners? There it is. High current banner. Hopefully that doesn't kick Tim's banner off on another live stream. Currently New Zealand versus Fiji taking place. But in terms of the starting lineups for these two sides, first of all for Kenya, it is Kevin Waikesa, Samuel Azati, Nigel Peterson Amaitsa, George Oro, also Safari, Patrick Odongo Okongo. It's great to see him back. I do think that if Kenya had him for the final up against the Fijians, it could have easily gone the other way. And Vincent Onyala there as the last man in the Kenyan lineup. This is going to be a pretty awesome game though, because we get to see the Samoans in action. This will be our first time calling a Samoan game since their match up against the USA where they were demoted, but it is Fa'afoi Falaniko, Valvasa Afasua, Motu Opitai, Tui Lolo. It is also Savianaya, Miai Loi, and also Owen Nue in there as well. And how are you watching the match? Never mind, found it. Yeah, it is on Sky Sport 9 for us here in New Zealand. Anyone who is tuning in and wondering how we are watching this game, I was a bit concerned about the fact that there are two games happening simultaneously, but lucky we can chop and change between the channels and watch both of these contests. We have just seen the game between China and Argentina. Looked like a bit of a one-sided affair, but hopefully this game will be extremely close. And let's go Samoa. And that game hectic. And Team Kenya, says Calvin. And there as well, when I see South Africa playing, they are playing in one moment. They are playing in about 45 minutes. And they'll be taking on the French. In fact, yeah, I think that is the next game, 7:12, which will be 9:12 p.m. for you guys in South Africa. What is the score? Says Mohadin. The game has not started yet, so it is 0-0. And we have got the, I go Samoa, says Paolo. Yeah, it's great to see the Samoans back. Like I mentioned, first game since they did get demoted that we've been able to cover on the channel. I miss being able to see them out there on the field. I don't think they should have been demoted in the first place. I think that they've really butchered the way that the Sevens is. Should just be 16 teams, nice and easy. Get Kenya in there, get Samoa, bring the Canadians back, and just keep it simple. Some people, when they look at the new system that they're going to go with next season, they've already decided they're not going to watch it. But if they go with a simple format that's worked, they'll find success. But Kenya, ready to kick this one off. They will be kicking off from right to left. And as always, the Kenyans are in the stands and excited for this leg of the Sevens. Last leg, we managed to see Kenya go all the way to the final, but it still kept them in the relegation zone. Come on, Kenya, do it for Africa, says Roger there. And it is now going to be kicked off by the Kenyans to get us underway for this matchup. It is Amaitsa who will be in charge of kicking this one off for Kenya. This is going to be a very interesting game because we don't know how these two sides match up now. Nicely taken by Fa'afoi Falaniko. Now, Motu Opitai puts in the fend on Azati. Of course, that physicality that Samoa bring to the game of Sevens will match up very nicely with Kenya's power that they often bring as well. Do you think South Africa going to win, says Mohadin? They should have a decent chance up against the French, I would say. Hot pass up from the Samoans. Motu Opitai, they have got numbers here to be able to work with. Passes one more out to Valvasa Afasua. Getting wrestled towards the touchline by Vincent Onyala. Offloaded again. Risky play from Samoa. Knocked on by Kenya. Picked up by Samoa. She's all out pace for the early stages of this match. Valvasa Afasua now going off to the right-hand side. Fa'afoi Falaniko waiting for it on the outside. And now looping around, beautifully done by Owen Nue. And Samoa score the first try of the match. And Leinster very disappointing, says Tabiso. Yeah, they just never really found their stride. Like, yes, it was a valiant comeback. Oh, hang on. TMO is having a look at something here. Other Sevens results, says Roger. So far in the Sevens side of things, I actually don't know any results. So we will get them up and we will let you know them at halftime. But for now, they are just checking this one to make sure that it is all right. And that is a good grounding. And we have got there. Where can we watch? On Crucified TV. I'm not too sure whereabouts Crucified TV is based, unfortunately. But I know on the Sevens website, they have the Where to Watch section. That's a nice strike, but it's just short. The score will remain at 5-0. Mialoi not quite able to kick that one far enough. We have also got the Where to Watch on pitch 2. For us in Sky or in New Zealand, it's on Sky Sport 9. But I'm not too sure where else it is available for pitch 2. In fact, we might be quite lucky in New Zealand and have one of the only options of watching the second pitch. But now, Samoa 5-0 up. Now kicking this one up high. And very nicely taken. They're just saying last year Samoa lost all of their games in the playoff matches. Opitai, bit of a counter ruck coming here from Samoa. Good physicality. And they will win another penalty here. That's for the Samoans to be able to add a little bit more to their tally. They have decided to go for a scrum. Looks like a really strong outfit that they've got at the moment. We haven't seen them in action, like I mentioned, for quite some time. The Challenger Series quite hard to find here in New Zealand. Spain 10 points to 15 and New Zealand bet Fiji. How long is this game? 7-minute half. So a pretty quick one. And then after this game, we of course have another game. And then another 11 after that because the Sevens running right through to 2 p.m. Ready to feed this ball in here. No, early push there from Kenya. So free kick goes the way of the Samoans. Go for the pass over the top. That is offside and a double blow of the whistle. Yellow card for Kenya. They have not had the best start to this match, unfortunately. And saw some good English players in that Northampton side, especially that number 7 Pollock. Says Tabiso. Yeah, I mean, Finn Smith did phenomenally in that number 10 jersey too. Really held it together. So you're going to sleep, says Mohadeen? No. No, not going to sleep. We've still got another 11 live streams. 12. Well, yeah, sorry, 11. I'm watching the Women's Sevens. What's going on, Marvin? Says Blues Nate. Let's go, Kenya, says LFG. Now scrum feed here for Samoa. It has been all Samoa for the first 3 minutes of this contest, but the danger of Kenya is how good they are at getting back into a contest that they're down in. Now going back across to the left-hand side here for the Samoans. Passes one more out wide to Owenue. Kenya's defence have also been relatively solid throughout the rest of the competitions. Nice pass, one more. Samoa score again. I believe it was the big man. Does get over. Savainea does score at his first try of the Sevens circuit. Throughout his career, he has scored 3. This has been just a fantastic start to the match for Samoa. 2 tries in quick succession and a fantastic kick, which this time does go over. So 12-0 for Samoa at the moment over Kenya. And Ireland, Germany, 15-0 for Germany. That's massive, isn't it? The fact that Ireland lost to Germany, don't get me wrong, they're a good side, but Ireland probably went into that game thinking they should have been able to win that. It's going to be kicked off again by Samoa. Is there going to be a final? There is. It will be taking place tomorrow. We will also be covering that one on the channel. A little bit of a counter ruck coming there from Samoa, but nothing doing. Kenya now have the chance with ball in hand. George Oro. Wrestle backwards here for Kenya. Pick and go though. Trying to break his way through. Moving up to the halfway line. Another good run from Oro there. Going to short side for Azati. Taking a little bit of a risk as he isolates himself. Kenya's forwards get in there quickly. Off to the left. Kenya looking for another gap. Big fan coming in and a massive bump off from Njeo. To Patrick Odongo Okongo now. Keep an eye on that heavily strapped knee, as it was what kept him out of the final in Singapore. One where the Kenyans managed to get themselves a silver medal. Oro has just dropped 2 blokes. One of them looked like he was staying down for a little bit of time, but going back across to the right-hand side here for Kenya. No, in fact, Afoi Falaniko does get the tackle. And let's go Samoa, says Annie there. Another penalty advantage, and that is against Valvas Afasua. Currently 40 seconds remaining of the Kenyan yellow card. It's been a back and forth type of game. Scrum feed is called by Kenya, which will use up a majority of that yellow card time. In fact, they are now back to 7 with only 80 seconds remaining in the half. Like I said, frantic pace at the start of this game. The fact that this is the second stadium in terms of the locations that the games are being played, and you can see the camera bouncing because of the Kenyan supporters all jumping around in the stands. That is what Sevens is all about. And then World Rugby decided they want to demote them down to Division 2 or 3. And have the Blitzbox played any games yet? Not yet. Their first game will be up against France, taking place in around 30 minutes' time. And come on, get one score before halftime. Kenya says, Roger, that one's going to be knocked on from Kenya, though. And now fired back across. They do still have another 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Sounds like, Dongo Okongo's a bit slow. Once again, trying to get back up. But it looks like Samoa have actually got a player who is still down in back play. They are going to turn this into a rolling maul here for the Kenyans. In fact, it's going to be stolen by Patrick Odongo Okongo. Such a dangerous player. Doesn't pop the ball up, though. He just needed to pass that. Onyala, though, gives it an easy pass. And the try for Kenya right at the end of the first half. What are you watching on? I'm watching on Sky Sport here in New Zealand. Now, I believe Sky Sport 3 has the main field, but luckily for us, Sky Sport 9 actually has the second pitch. So we're going to be popping between the two coverages to be able to cover the games that we are, but I've got it all written down in terms of what pitches my games that we're covering are on, so that will hopefully make it a little bit easier. And in terms of this little situation, in terms of this grouping of matches that we are covering, next game is South Africa versus France. That is happening on Field 1 and as a part of Group A, and same with Argentina, Great Britain, which is happening pretty much straight after. Yeah, we've got about 6 back-to-back games only a couple hours away, starting at 8:45 New Zealand time, and that is New Zealand versus Spain. Let's go Oos Yeet, says a Blues Nate. Have you got any sleep? I have not, no. So we've been covering games since yesterday 2 p.m. for the game between the Fijian Roar and the Reds. So doing the maths in my head, it's probably about 17 hours of being awake. No, a little bit longer, about 19. Why not show the game, though? Because it's illegal is pretty much the simple way of saying it. I'd love to be able to show it, but if we show any match footage or audio, you get taken straight off YouTube, get a copyright strike, banned for 3 months from streaming, and possibly sued for copyright infringement. So we can tell you where you can watch the games. Some of them are free, some of them are not. 8 on the Women's Sevens Samoa here, says Leonard. I am hoping to do some of the games. Today, though, we're just mainly the men's games. We've got 11 matches already on the schedule. So, yeah, putting any more in was going to be a bit of a stretch. What an absolute classic Champions Cup match. Went down to the wire, a game of the ages, says Mornay Vandenberg. Says Mornay Lagrange, I should say. And like a Kenya converted try, back in it. Or right back in it, I believe that is, from Roger. But halftime in this contest has just come to a close. Next game in this pool will be USA versus Portugal. That is happening just around the corner. But the World Championships, as it's called, this was going to be to play off for the 4 spots making their way into the 7th circuit next year. But now, of course, no one gets promoted. But some teams can be demoted down to Division 3 with a new layout. Makes you wonder where the motivation is for some of these lower ranked sides. That's going to be nicely claimed by these Samoans. Back across to the right-hand side, and a good way to start the half for this Manu Samoa side. Looking for the short ball. Doesn't quite work out for Mialoi. Our winner Blitzbox going to place his morning in the Grange. 30 minutes time. It's when they will be taking on the French. And Yeet says Annie. Now will be the scrum feed for Kenya. Don't know how Ryan Garcia and Rowley can make millions. Who saw the most boring fight of the century? Says Roger. The crowd are still jumping around in the stands. The camera is still trying to hold it steady while shaking like this because of the movement in the grandstand. And about half an hour, Mornay. Now this one is going to be going in. Once again, going to the right-hand side. Popped on the inside, but Kenya just knocking that ball on. And in fact, it's accidental offside. So it will end up being the penalty for Samoa, who tried to take the quick tap, but they were not on the mark. So they will have to go back here. 2 penalties already conceded by Kenya throughout this matchup. 1 by Samoa. At times throughout last season, did have a bit of a disciplinary problem. So far, so good. Well, the team in blue, inside ball going up to Vawasa Afasua. It looks like it's going to be play on, adjust for now. So it was a flat pass. Looked like he was a bit slow getting back up to his feet, the Afasua, but now they will go across. Mialoi. Now short side, couple changes have been made. Back across to the right again here. Motu Opitai finds the try scorer, Zavayanea, on the outside. Just a patient build-up here, not going for anything too risky. Instead, just trying to find that next gap. Foi Falaniko, he's normally pretty good at finding them. He's offloaded it back loosely, though, to Savanea. Another offload. Motu Opitai goes through, well sold by him, and that will be another try for the Samoans. And 2 tries, and should take it home, says Michael. And that is going to be a handy one, definitely because it is right between the posts. So a nice, easy kick on the cards for Samoa. And just finding a great offload to Motu Opitai, who showed the dummy. And Kenya, unfortunately for them, did sell, or did get fooled by it. And the try is scored nicely by Samoa. Lining up this kick, and it has gone over, making the score now 19 points to 7. A handy enough lead for Samoa in this fixture. Looks like a few more changes are about to be made. How strong are Samoans? There's some pretty big blokes in that side, that is for sure. Which is why it was such a shame when they were taken off the circuit last year, as when they're at their physical best, they can probably, honestly, they could beat every side on the current World Championship circuit when they play well. You know which Kenyan team rocks up on the day? Well, same can be said about Samoa. Exactly right. We could see Kenya go into their next game, which we are covering on the channel. Same with Samoa, and just absolutely bulldoze through their opposition. And that's what they need to do, because or else they'll find themselves on Division 3 for next season, which I think would be absolutely brutal for the Kenyans. Like, for me, them, Samoa, USA, Ireland, I guess you could say, all should be in Division 1 anyway, but at least Division 2. Now, going to be passing across to the right-hand side. Chance inside of their 22 for Kenya. A big fin coming in, and a good run down the wing from, I believe it was Angel. Now back across to this left-hand side. Another step for Kevin Waikesa. Mates from an offside position. Does get tackled by Alofipo. And will be more people tuned in to when the Blitzbox play. Hopefully they're not disappointed. South Africa must win, says Bruce and Marina Hamish. And everyone says, Spider-Me, welcome in. Penalty does go the way of Kenya. 3 minutes remaining in this contest. They decide to take the quick dab with Patrick Okongo gets back up to his feet, tries to go for the pass, but it is slapped out of his hands. And Afasua tried to jump on the ball, but he might have injured himself in the process. There's once again going to be a scrum. This game looks like it's already taken its toll on these players, and they're only in their first match of what could be about 5 or 6 games that they do have to play throughout this competition. Looks like another change is happening here for the Samoans. Vawasa Afasua about to make his way off. And Samoa back in again, says Spider-Mech. Well, they came into this comp with something to prove. They wanted to get back to the 7th circuit. And then World Rugby changed the system. So now whoever wins these games don't actually get to go through to the number 1 division, as they're now calling it. And Massive Hype was seriously pathetic. They'll never get close to Tank Davis, to be honest. Not that I'm a fan of Tank. And Chris Viap not showing the game why. I actually don't really know. Are they showing the other Sevens, Edwin? Because I know that this game has taken place on pitch number 2. And because there are some overlaps, it actually means that only one of the 2 games are being shown for certain people. Are we still friends? Says Return is Cool Story, bro. I believe so. I don't think anything happened, did it? But now, scrum feed happening now. 2.5 minutes remaining in this contest. And Mialoi will be the man to feed this ball in for the Samoans. Like they've said, the winner. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So the first team ranked in this group, I believe, goes straight through to Division 2, which is a little bit of a new one as well. So, of course, you do want to be the top of the bunch. That's going to be knocked on by Samoa, picked up by the Kenyans. I thought about going for another pass. It is called as a tackle here. 100 seconds remaining on the clock. Big counter ruck there, but there is a knock on. First of all from Kenya. So Samoa, oh no, in fact, no. Kenya are going to have the scrum. That one looked like there was a bit of confusion from the referee in terms of who was getting the penalty. New Zealand kept Fiji scoreless. Fiji kept New Zealand scoreless in the first half. New Zealand kept Fiji scoreless in the second. Yeah, hopefully that one went all right for Tim, who did end up filling in for us on that live stream. I don't think I've got any messages saying that he was abused too much, so that's ideal. Yeah, I'm sure he would have messaged somewhere on there. I see a notification. But now, going for this break and run for the Kenyans. 1 minute left. It just feels like they haven't been able to get out of first gear throughout this match. Double blow the whistle, yellow card for Samoa. Just as I had said, that it seemed like there was going to be less disciplinary issues. Why don't you show as a video? As I explained in the first half as well, copyright infringement. It would be illegal to show any match footage as I haven't purchased the rights to be able to do so because it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars and I don't have that kind of money, sadly. We have got there who's your pick to win the second semi-final tomorrow, I think. Well, Bordeaux looked pretty handy. That's a great run down the wing from a might say, and the Kenyans get themselves another try, which now gives them a bit of hope to be able to get back into this contest. Now, if they get this kick over, it means that one more try could win it for them. But now, a might say, too much space for that man to be able to run around. G Samoa wins this game, says Bruce. They're close to it. And thanks, Hamish. My mum is happy that we are still friends. Says return, a cool story, bro. But that kick has missed away to the side, which means at best these two sides can draw in regular time. But Samoa, they will receive the kickoff. They just need to boot it into touch, which they do, and Samoa get back on the winning path as they beat Kenya in this opening contest for the two sides, 19 points to 12. A pretty, like I said, a mundane performance from Kenya, but I do think that if they play well in their next two games, they can go more than far enough in this competition. Samoa, that seemed like a bit of a statement win, as if to say, hey, we were on the circuit, you kicked us off, you never should have got rid of us. And I feel like that's exactly what we saw when we think about it from Kenya when they got promoted last year. They made those same kind of statements saying, hey, why'd you sack us? Get us back in there. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Next live stream will be starting in around 15 minutes time, I believe. And that is going to be between South Africa and France. So yeah, that game is kicking off at 7:12, but I believe we are starting at 7:05. Then there is Argentina versus Great Britain. That is at 7:34. So happening in about 40 minutes time. And then there is 6 games in a row that we are going to be covering from 8:45 onwards. So there's about a 50-minute break in between the two sets of games. So that'll be another one. Keep an eye on as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Like I said, if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all for the next one.